I want to start this video differently today. Not with price went up, price went down, but with a real question. How is Bitcoin still standing while everything else is falling? Because something very unusual happened over the past few weeks. Military conflicts, oil at extreme highs, stock markets under pressure, and crypto didn't break. This wasn't luck. This was market structure. And today, I'm going to break down exactly why this happened and what comes next. Part 1, Oil and Global Chaos. Let's start with the oil chart, because nothing reflects a situation better than this. Over the past 2 months, tensions in the Middle East escalated rapidly. The Strait of Hormuz, the channel where a large portion of the world's oil flows, was effectively shut down. The result? Oil surged nearly 68% in just a few weeks. And when oil moves like that, the impact is immediate across every sector. Transport and logistics, industry and manufacturing, food and supply chains, energy and electricity. Countries like Australia and several European nations had reserves for barely 2 weeks. This wasn't just a warning. This was a full alarm. Markets reacted exactly how you'd expect. Banks and institutions pulled capital out of risk assets and moved into government bonds, so-called safe investments. And then, in the last 24 hours, oil dropped 17% in a single day. That move tells you something critical. Macro stress can reverse direction very fast. Part 2, how I use AI to analyze the market. Now I want to share something I personally did during this period, and it's worth paying attention to. I used AI, specifically Claude, to build a visual analysis. The idea was simple. Compare the oil price chart with public statements made by high-level U.S. officials during the same period. Each statement was classified as bullish, peace signals, positive negotiations, de-escalation. Large red circle bearish, threats, ultimatums, military escalation, and the result was striking. At the beginning, the signals were mostly green, talks, partial agreements, diplomatic progress. Then we started seeing red, rejected ceasefires, 48-hour ultimatums, escalation rhetoric. At the peak, statements like we will end a civilization, while the U.S. doomsday plane was activated in Nebraska. And then, 1 hour later, a ceasefire was announced. This analysis revealed something important. Markets don't react in a linear way to news. There are saturation phases, points where even the worst news stops pushing prices lower. Part 3, why Bitcoin didn't collapse. Now let's get a bit more technical, but I'll keep it simple. Bitcoin's price is just a reflection of buying and selling. More buyers than sellers, price goes up. More sellers than buyers, price goes down. But the speed of the move depends heavily on leverage. During the recent drop, here's what happened. 1, a lot of traders were in leveraged long positions. 2, as price dropped, they got liquidated. 3, those liquidations turned into forced market sells. 4, this created a cascade effect, everyone selling at once. That's why the drop was so aggressive. But then something changed. There was no more excess long leverage left. Funding rates turned negative, meaning most traders expected further downside. Open interest dropped significantly. Large realized losses showed that weak hands had already sold. This combination signals something very specific. The selling cycle was exhausted, and while the majority was still expecting lower prices, smart money, long-term players, started quietly accumulating around the 60 to 62K range. So no, Bitcoin didn't resist by accident.